My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And what do we have here? Andrew McCabe was fired for a whole bunch of reasons. New details about basis for Andrew McCabe firing from FBI revealed 6 hours ago. Check this out.
And new documents, Republicans say, show Justice Department and FBI bias against the Trump presidential campaign. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge is here with the breaking details. Good evening, Catherine.
Well, thank you. But Fox News has learned through an investigative source new details about the basis for the former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe's termination. McCabe was fired in March for 3 violations of the FBI's ethics code, first uncovered by the Justice Department's Inspector General and then affirmed by the FBI's Office of Professional Responsibility. They include lack of candor under oath, lack of candor not under oath, as well as the improper disclosure of non-public information to the media about the existence of the FBI Clinton Foundation investigation. In October 2016, after the Wall Street Journal reported on a possible conflict because McCabe's wife took sizable campaign donations from Democrats for a state Senate race, McCabe wanted to set the record straight. He instructed FBI lawyer Lisa Page, an FBI public...
Really? Really? Lisa Page? Lisa Page? Andrew McCabe instructed FBI lawyer Lisa Page. Is this the same Miss Page that with Mr. Strzok, Peter Strzok, insurance policy, Andrew McCabe? So, when you hide behind bureaucracy and you say, well, it was all above board. We had to check the Steele dossier. It was just sent to us, and we had to follow through with it. Well, is there any evidence there? No, it was a bunch of hearsay, actually compiled with help from Cody Shear and Sidney Blumenthal and purchased by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. Really? Yeah, and it was compiled by an MI6 agent. Oh, okay. That isn't cool at all. Well, what do you mean? It's just protocol. We was given to us, and we have to go ahead and abide by protocol and procedure. And then we used it for a FISA warrant. Why? Because the judge allowed us to. Because we said it was evidence. But it was all gossip and hearsay. Yet they used it because, it's protocol. The same protocol got Andrew McCabe. Same protocol will eventually, could easily hurt James Comey politically because he gave up...
to this letter from the Republican...
He gave up a classified document to his friend when he was leaking his memos, his leaky, queasy memos. But I'll read you. This is regarding the insurance policy. I want to believe this is a controversial figure at the FBI. This is another Fox article. Deputy Director Andrew McCabe was seemingly referenced by Page and Strzok in their text messages. The same Lisa Page that is now a part also of Andrew McCabe getting fired. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, Andrew McCabe's office. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andrew McCabe's office, the guy who was fired by the Office of Professional Responsibility. That guy. It doesn't say that in the text, but that's what it is. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office. There's no way he gets elected. Who? What? Clinton? Are they referring to Clinton or Trump? Oh, yeah, Trump. Could you imagine if, as I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andrew McCabe's office, there's no way Hillary Clinton gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk of Hillary getting elected. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. So they are viewing a Trump presidency as not going to happen, don't worry, but hey, you know what? Let's be safe. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. Look at the morbid, very calculating, morbid, unfeeling way. This is like an insurance policy in case you die before you're 40. Let's just go through with the Russia investigation. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration. This is referenced by Page and Strzok in their texts. This is a Strzok text. The number 2 at the FBI, the number 1 was Bill Priestap, which possibly could be, speaking of Stormy Daniels, this era's Deep Throat. Mark Felt from Watergate, who worked with Woodward and Bernstein, and was the reason they were able to break the story. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office. There's no way he'd get selected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. Strzok texted Page on August 15, 2016. Well, what risk? Maybe Andrew McCabe knows. Maybe he should be testifying before Congress about what he knows. Maybe Sessions should actually, maybe John Huber should be asking the new prosecutor involved in the Uranium One and Clinton email, renewed investigation. Maybe he should be asking Andrew McCabe what they meant. Let's just really continue really quickly.
Affairs Chief Michael Corn to work with the reporter. It was McCabe's lack of candor about the media contact that led to his termination.
Hold on one second.
It was McCabe's lack of public affairs straight. He instructed FBI lawyer Lisa Page and FBI Public Affairs Chief Michael Corn to work with the reporter. It was McCabe's lack of candor about the media contact that led to his termination. The investigative source said the testimony of lawyer Lisa Page to internal investigators was critical because it directly contradicted her boss, Andrew McCabe. Then Director James Comey said he never authorized the leak.
So Comey was like, I never authorized it. Nope. And McCabe's like, yeah, this was completely fine. What's the problem? But let's hear that again.
Corn to work with the reporter. It was McCabe's lack of candor about the media contact that led to his termination. The investigative source said the testimony of lawyer Lisa Page to internal investigators was critical because it directly contradicted her boss, Andrew McCabe.
So Lisa Page contradicted Andrew McCabe, which is good. She's doing a better job now than anything that was going on. And to be fair to Miss Page, it's really Strzok. Well, both of them hated Trump. But Strzok was the number 2 at the FBI. She was just a lawyer. She is just a lawyer, and he is the number 2. The number 2 at the FBI almost certainly has a rift with the number 1. The number 2 counterintelligence almost certainly has a rift with the number 1 counterintelligence, Bill Priestap. Because have you noticed that Bill Priestap, the number 1 counterintelligence officer, is not in the news at all? Yet it almost seems that Strzok had to go to him and kind of get the okay for things, but he's not in the news. But James Comey's canned. It's a profanity alert. Please do not watch if you don't want to hear profanity. James Comey shit canned. Andrew McCabe shit canned. Strzok and Page, I can't imagine Republican investigators not going after them very soon. Bruce Orr, no longer at the DOJ or demoted. All of these, Professor Mifsud, the alleged Russian hacker who really has ties to British intelligence, he's nowhere to be found. He's a missing person. Isn't it so great to be part of this fantastic cover-up? For what? You were always going to get caught eventually. So why be part of this cover-up? Well, it was an insurance policy. Well, yeah, it's all unraveling. It's all being dismantled. Let's continue. This is actually a really good...
Then Director James Comey said he never authorized the leak. In a separate development, text messages between FBI agent Peter Strzok and FBI lawyer Lisa Page indicate that Strzok traveled to London in early August 2016 to interview a key witness, just days after the FBI opened an investigation into alleged contact between Russian officials and the Trump campaign. The 2 FBI officials appeared to debate amongst themselves about what they will share with their superiors at the Justice Department when Strzok returns to D.C. Strzok writes, I think we need to consider the lines of what we disclose to DOJ. For example, the last stipulation notes we will not disclose. Less than a week later, the text suggests a series of high-profile briefings began on the Hill and at the White House. There was no immediate response tonight from McCabe's lawyer or the Bureau, Brett.
All right. So you have a situation where bureaucracy is what does Andrew McCabe in terms of his job. So he's fired before He's fired before. And then you have my last two segments. Congressional investigators are now investigating Trump. I'm thinking of Trump. They're now investigating John Brennan. Actually, we found out that Trump was not a criminal target. Clinton was. Big difference. But interestingly, let's get to one text. So you have the insurance policy text. And that's actually not just bureaucracy. That actually is evidence of a cover-up in Andrew McCabe's office. But you have texts where they not only talk about the insurance policy, but they talk about Russia. So let's go ahead and, according to the text messages, Strzok was hesitant to join Mueller's investigation because of his gut sense there was no big there. So you have a situation where even the guy who flew to London to speak about, to interview a witness regarding Trump-Russia, in a text message says there's no big there. So not only is he talking about an insurance policy, and Andrew McCabe's office released a page, but he's also telling Lisa Page, yeah, there's no there. So the insurance policy is really nothing, but they're going to roll with it, but they know there's nothing going on, but they also know that the American people are very gullible. His gut sense is that there's no big there. You and I both know the odds are nothing. My God. If I thought it was likely, I'd be there, no question. I hesitate in part because my gut sense and concern there's no big there. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that just wonderful? You have Peter Strzok, who basically tried to ruin General Flynn's life, interview General Flynn, who will get pardoned. So that's the guy's going to get pardoned. And you say, no, you and I both know the odds are nothing. If I thought it was likely, I'd be there, no question. I hesitate in part because my gut sense and concern, there's no big there. The interesting thing now is Andrew McCabe. What did he know? He was fired for leaking information to the press when James Comey stated he never authorized any leaks. That's what happens when you're the number 2 of any organization, or not the number 1, or at least what happens when you report to somebody, I should say. You don't have to be the number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. It's just if you report to somebody, and you have to, just in any bureaucracy, whether you're a teacher or in the FBI or in the post office, wherever, it doesn't matter. Or a company, corporation, doesn't matter. If you report to somebody, and you are also, you also have people working under you, you have to set an example, and they report to you. You might report to somebody else. But at the end of the day, if you act in an unethical, immoral manner and you break protocol, by accepting $700,000 from Terry McAuliffe. So everyone loves their wives, everyone loves their husbands, everyone loves their significant other. If your significant other goes ahead and gets $700,000 to $1.2 million from a guy named Terry McAuliffe, who happens to be the biggest fundraising monster in the Democratic Party, and then you, recuse yourself a week before the election, because suddenly you realized, hey, I should recuse myself. There's conflict of interest here. But in 2015, you didn't recuse yourself when the email investigation started. This is Andrew McCabe. Andrew McCabe waited from March 2nd, 2015 to 1 week before the election 1 week before November 8, 2016, to say, you know what, I think I should recuse myself. I got to be above board. I got to follow protocol. And the FBI was like completely off its rocker when they, and you know what they did? When McAuliffe gave McCabe $700,000, what they did was they said, well, we'll make sure that Andrew McCabe is not involved in any investigation in Virginia. Because McAuliffe was a Virginia governor. What? But Clinton, being the number 2, and investigating Clinton and also investigating the Trump-Russian nonsense, that's okay. No conflict of interest there, but thank goodness you didn't. You're now barred, or you've been recused from investigating anything in terms of Virginia politics. That's like, they're not even trying to pretend at that point. So in raw text revealed by Johnson's office, Strzok wrote, "You and I both know the odds are nothing." Well, if the odds are nothing, then why is that? Someone should tell BuzzFeed they're suing the DNC. Someone should tell BuzzFeed, with all due respect, and my 2 segments are below. Please share them. One is about the BuzzFeed article today, trying to link Guccifer to WikiLeaks, when even Peter Strzok says, you and I know the odds are nothing. Peter Strzok would have known. The number 2 at the FBI would have known. Counterintelligence. Protecting the country from foreign spies. And I would really like to know why Mr. Strzok, Bill Priestap, Lisa Page, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, all of them, the whole mishpacha, all of them, didn't care enough about the country to indict Clinton for transferring top secret and special access program intelligence from SIPRNet, JWICs, and SCIFs and other locations within the U.S. government. The classified information didn't suddenly form wings and fly away and fly into Clinton's server that was once unencrypted. And I love James Comey and all of them like, well, we just, you know, it was a really bad decision that she didn't mean to do it. And we just didn't think that she has some... Well, you know, we thought she was just a really good person inside. And we didn't really see malice or intent. You see, the precedent here. The precedent. You got to go back on bureaucracy, which is what eventually screwed McCabe and Comey. You got to get on bureaucracy and protocol. Show that, you know, no one was as stupid and devious as Clinton in the past. So we really couldn't find evil intent. Even though it's not James Comey's job, I'm James Comey right now, it's not my job to actually do Loretta Lynch's job. It's my job to give evidence of crimes and recommend an indictment based on the evidence. Then Loretta Lynch can go ahead and look into Clinton's eyes and say, oh, I see such goodness. But this is like James Comey, James Comey testifying to Congress. He's like, they asked him, well, there is in classified. It's like our lawmakers also in Congress. They're like so. They're almost so like this like deer in the headlights thing. Like they don't know what to do. They know it's wrong. They know any other American would have been already sent to Guantanamo, but they're like, what? So this one. Congressman asked Comey, well, did Anthony Weiner commit a crime? Looking at the classified intelligence on his laptop that he used to send pictures of his wiener everywhere. Which, again, Strzok and all of them, Andrew McCabe, allowed this to take place. They didn't care. You're so worried about Trump. You're so worried about Trump. You're okay with top secret intelligence and classified intelligence being shipped out of the country, the country, but United States government, outside JWICs and onto Clinton's server. You're okay with that? 22 top secret emails? But James Comey, when asked, all he said was, this fella Anthony Weiner, he had his own criminal probe. He had other legal problems. What do you mean? Yeah. Yeah, he had other legal problems. Yeah, you were investigating him, along with the NYPD. Why are you falling back on his legal problems? That should be another reason. If it's anyone else, you would have actually added that to the reasons why you wouldn't trust him and why he would actually be committing a crime for having classified intelligence on his laptop. He's like, well, he had legal problems and, potentially. This is it. Oh, gosh. Now you gotta find it. Potentially. He potentially committed crimes. Oh, gee, legal scholar James Comey. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, James Comey. You're a legal scholar. Can't read to read your book. Why don't you read my book, Butter Top Secret Emails and Butter Deleted Emails? You probably should have read the book before you even thought of investigating Clinton, but anyway. James Comey, Anthony Weiner, laptop.
For classified information on.
I love this. There's no offense. I love the Southern accent, but this guy he's. I should know who he is, but you'll hear it. Was there classified information on Weiner's laptop? No offense to anybody. Was there classified information on Weiner's laptop? Yes, potentially. Potentially he could have committed a crime. Thanks, legal scholar Weiner. You're lying. We all know, but here's the whole thing.
Classified information on former Congressman Weiner's computer.
Yes.
Who sent it to him?
I know I've done this before, but I have to. Yes! Whenever Comey gets a chance to actually tell the truth, he's so giddy and happy. Yes! Now the lies begin.
His then spouse, Huma Abedin, appears to have had a regular practice of forwarding emails to him, for him, I think, to print out for her.
Regular practice. And this relates to Andrew McCabe. They're all the most crooked, incompetent law enforcement officials, former law enforcement officials, incompetent. It's not only about a cover-up, it's about being inept and incompetent. And being stupid. There's a profanity alert. Don't listen if you don't want to hear profanity. How fucking stupid do you have to be to let classified intelligence, thousands and thousands, throw just outside the U.S. government? And then she outsourced her emails, Clinton did, to Platte River and Dato. No problem there. And her emails, and John Brennan doesn't care, contained the names of CIA agents. And the only defense from one defender of Clinton, one of the defenders, is, well, they're probably just analysts. You want analysts, the information of analysts, to be given to the Soviet, to Russia or China or what, or any other country? Let's continue.
So she could then deliver them to the Secretary of State.
Did former Congressman Weiner read the classified material?
I don't think so. I think I don't think we've been able to interview him because he has pending criminal problems of other sorts. But my understanding.
Oh, so another lie. I've done this before. I've already done this segment, but I just can't. You haven't emailed him because he has too many criminal problems. So what the FBI does for the Clinton email investigation is they cap the number of criminal problems somebody has. Usually they're like, you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that, and a whole litany of things. And we can't wait to get you on this and that. And by the way, did you lie? Did you lie to us? I saw you stuttered. You stuttered and you were looking to the left. And that means you lied. And could you imagine what Peter Strzok did to General Flynn? That's criminal. What Peter Strzok did to General Flynn is criminal. Millions of people around the country know that General Flynn should be pardoned or completely exonerated, cleared of everything. He didn't do anything wrong. Speaking to Sergei Kislyak is not a crime. Only Fishlips, what's his name? Al Fishlips Franken try to make it this big thing. If that's the case, then indict Claire McCaskill and all the other Democrats who met with him. But to cut a long story short, which is, we can go on forever, but Andrew McCabe, he lied under oath. He lied 4 times, twice under oath. It's been reported Lisa Page, actually, we just found out this evening, the testimony contradicts whatchamacallit, Andrew McCabe's statements that he was authorized to speak to the press. That's why when the Daily Beast tried to write a hit piece on me, I didn't speak to them. The whole thing was nonsense, like complete nonsense, but I didn't speak to them. There were errors throughout the hilarious errors throughout the whole article. That's why, like, when people write hit pieces on me, they get everything wrong. Because I don't speak to them. Especially the Daily Beast. But people are still writing hit pieces on me. And whenever somebody, like, was one of the journalists from the Washington Post contacted me also during that time period when Bernie was running and everything, and I didn't speak to him. I didn't speak to anybody who I sensed would just simply write a hit piece. Why would you? That's stupid. If you are doing something that you know people don't like, and you know a publication doesn't like either something you're advocating or, you know, your political viewpoints, and they're like, hey, we're reaching out, you know, just want to talk to you. And this has happened numerous times since. People are like, hey, Itchy, we want to talk to you. I'm like, really? Look at the publication. And sometimes I'll be like, and you'll know when they're a bunch of liars, when they're like, you know, we really want to talk to you. So then they can go ahead and fabricate whatever you say. So I'm like, yeah, you know, just send me the questions via email. Never hear from them again. Because at least with email, you have some kind of record. Sure, you could tape conversations, but then, you know, that there's no point. They're always going to spin. They're always going to spin whatever you say. I mean, Rod Wheeler is an example. He stated on MSNBC with Ari Melber as he was explaining the Fox News lawsuit that he never backtracked on anything. He never backtracked on anything regarding Seth Rich. What he's suing Fox News about is that Fox News had a clip that was edited of him speaking that made CNN's Oliver Darcy and all of them, BuzzFeed, all of them, the Young Turks, all of them go absolutely nuts. And then CNN wrote numerous hit pieces on Rod Wheeler, and people did numerous attacks on Rod Wheeler. Why? They were all on the left. It wasn't like, in my humble opinion, he's suing the wrong person. He shouldn't be suing Fox. He should be suing all the people who libeled him on the left, who slandered him. But that's another story. He never backtracked on anything. The clip from the Fox News Seth Rich piece made it seem like he looked at the laptop. Which, I mean, why would anybody have a laptop if it's a botched robbery, quote unquote? Anyway, new details about basis of Andrew McCabe's firing from FBI revealed. Let's just finish this up.
Is that his role would be to print them out as a matter of convenience.
Because printers don't work in Clinton world. In Clinton land, printers don't work. Printers don't exist. Government emails don't exist. Laptops don't live very long. They get death by hammer.
If he did read them, would he have committed a crime?
Potentially.
Potentially. Really? Potentially?
Would his spouse have committed a crime?
Again, potentially. It would depend upon a number of things.
Is there an investigation with respect to the two of them?
There was. It is. We completed it.
It is. We completed it. Now, if you go ahead and say that doesn't mean you're lying. But he's lying through his teeth. There was an investigation. We completed it. We know that he's lying. You know when someone's lying when they're and it doesn't make sense. Not so much when it's just like a disagreement and someone's giving you their answers and, you know, I'd say heated exchange and they're going, I do the same thing all the time during this YouTube channel. Sometimes people are like, stop stammering! Stop stuttering! It's like, listen, don't watch the channel. You don't have to watch. You can watch CNN, where they, you know, give you the lies without any pauses. But it's not a matter of simply saying, it's a matter of what Comey is saying.
Why did you conclude neither of them committed a crime?
Because with respect to Ms. Abbott
With respect to Ms. Abbott in
particular, we didn't have any indication.
We didn't
That she had a sense that what she was doing was in violation of the law. Couldn't prove any sort of criminal intent.
You don't need criminal intent, Comey. You don't need criminal intent. When it's a long litany of crimes committed. This isn't somebody who stole a Snickers bar. This isn't somebody who simply, was jaywalking. This is a long, long list of crimes committed. And Uma Abedin and very likely, almost certainly Anthony Weiner were all part of the entire debacle and charade. Let me do your job for you, James Comey, that you should have done. I'll just wrap up everything in short summary. Everybody from President Obama knew that Hillary Clinton had a private server at the State Department. Brian Pagliano, Justin Cooper somehow managed to restructure existing networks. She was able to get classified, top secret, special access program intelligence somehow onto her computer. She knew that getting classified intelligence on her computer would also make it very difficult for them to go back in time and try to get those deleted emails, or for them to say, give me your server. She knew that getting the information on her computer would then implicate the NSA and everybody else, John Brennan, everybody else who just simply allowed her to use the server. When somebody at the CIA or when somebody at the White House is sending an email to Clinton, well, guess what? They're sending an email to clintonemail.com or the AT&T email she had prior for the first 3 months. So her vantage point was, well, they were sending it to me. They knew. So the whole government basically acquiesced and said, gosh, we don't, this woman is too powerful. We're just going to, we can't possibly confront her and say, no, use a government email like everybody else. She's the only person in history to never use a government email. And that's why the indictments will eventually take place. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for listening.